Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television and a board game. Today we're doing a review of Warhammer 40,000 Sisters of Battle #1. The comic's been out for a few weeks. We did a written review on both sites, but haven't done a video review yet and wanted to get that done before the second issue is out, which is this coming week. So this is the second series of Warhammer 40,000 comics from Marvel, actually just the second series of any Games Workshop comics from Marvel. Torunn Grønbekk is the writer, Edgar Salazar is the artist, Arif Prianto is the colorist, and Clayton Cowles the letter. I think it's actually really interesting. There's thanks to Games Workshop and Kieran Gillen. Kieran wrote the first series that features Marneus Calgar, and I thought the first series was actually really good. So this one shifts, it's a different series, different volume, focused on the Sisters of Battle. So those who don't know, Sisters of Battle is kind of like a pretty hardcore militant religious sect in the Imperium. They're all about the Emperor and bringing his light to heretics, which means purge them any way you can. If you're a heretic, death is like about the best thing that you can expect from these folks. So the story is a group of Sisters of Battle go to a planet which has mysteriously kind of lost contact, and they don't know why. What's interesting is, I think, so here's the good. So the first issue was very much focused on Marneus Calgar. It was all about his story, and I thought it was really smart in that we got a character, kind of the normal like hero archetype that a lot of people can relate to. This wasn't just some like generic characters diving into the world of Warhammer 40,000. We had something that people who might not know the world, who might not know the background, could at least latch onto a familiar story. A lot of the other publishers, when they've done Warhammer 40,000 comics, it's also often like very generic Space Marines or characters that you don't really know a whole lot about, and they never quite have the personality. It's more of the battle and the scares and what are they fighting, stuff like that. Marvel's taken a little bit different approach in that. So this series, the Sisters of Battle, is about a unit of Sisters of Battle sent to the ground, one, to kind of figure out what the hell's going on, but also retrieve an important asset for an Inquisitor. This Inquisitor had a kind of a person they were dealing with, and he wants them off the planet. We know that's not going to happen. It's going to be Purge the Heretic. We all know where this is going. So the first volume had Marneus Calgar as the focus. This one's generally generic Sisters of Battle, except it does have Canoness Veridian, who is a named character, has a miniature out for her. I have her part of my Sisters of Battle force. So we know some things, like in the first volume with Marneus isn't going to die. Canoness isn't going to die. But that means other people are on the chopping block, and as we see in this first issue, there's a nice body count. So this is more typical of what I was expecting for a Warhammer 40,000 comic. They get on planet, sneaking around, dealing with the heretics, lots of fighting, lots of cool weapons, lots of people dying, purging the heretics, heroes dying, stuff like that. Like, it's a pretty, squad-based story. I mean, this is a very, I don't want to say typical story, just like the Marneus story. This also has that kind of that structure like you would expect. I mean, let's be honest, there's not much difference between this and like Predator. You have a squad going in, not knowing what's going on. They have assets that they need to go, and there's an evil that is hunting them that they got to go stop. Same damn story. Really not all that different. The big thing in this is it's hinting out what is corrupting this planet. Like, I've got my guesses of what's going on. I think I can make some guesses here. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what Marvel and GW pull out of this. Like, who is the big bad? What is the big bad? It will be interesting. And I think this is really cool in that, we see a massive expansion of Games Workshop as far as material being put out there for people to consume. The Warhammer TV, Warhammer Plus has launched. We're getting series out of that. Lots of different focuses, a lot of different stories to tell, and I'm really hoping that we maybe see some tie-ins between things like the comics and the animated series, and some books coming out, and maybe battle reports, stuff like that. There's a lot of really cool potential in this. The other thing I think is really interesting is we got Sisters of Battle. This is a army that recently got their codex a couple months ago. Not necessarily it's one that's always got kind of like a following, but it's never been an army that everyone has to play. You know, it's kind of picked up a little bit as far as how many people playing, but you know, even back in the day when they launched in second or third edition, I think it was second edition. You know, it wasn't an army that like everyone had to get. Like there was diehard people were really excited about it, and then you know, kind of puttered. But you know, I've got my force. I'm kind of excited to read this comic. I want to see some of these characters. I'd love to model some of these characters into my army. Story-wise, like I think it's a pretty typical story. It's good. You know, there's nothing that blows me away about it, but I'm entertained. Like as I said, this is Predator. This is Predator done with Sisters of Battle. They're going through tunnels, have to go fight some evils, purge some heretics, kill some bad guys. Who knows what's going to jump out at them? Like it's real or alien or whatever you want to call it. There's not much difference between that. The art I think is really good, and this one, you know, this one kind of delivers some solid depth to it. You know, we open up with the heretics just murdering people, which is, you know, pretty gutsy way of going about it. You know, the other thing I like is that it's, you know, there's some history thrown out about this, but at the same time, it's just kind of like it's here, it's the present. You know, we're not jumping around between time periods like we were for the Marnius story. You know, this is pretty focused on the here and now, which I think is a little bit different as well. I mean, overall, it's good. If you're into Warhammer 40,000, you know, this is kind of the, well, I'll call it the typical story, the very, like, basic story that pretty much anyone can write. Obviously, the big thing is going to be is, what's the big reveal? Who's the big bad? You know, who are they going up against? Like, those small details to come. I think the setup is pretty solid. You know, overall, it's a really good, it's a good comic. It's not a great comic, but I think it's just a really solid, entertaining comic. Out now in comic shops, so you can go get it. We got a link beneath our video. Put in your zip code. It'll tell if a comic shop's near you. No comic shop, no problem. We'll have some links as well where you can purchase it. There'll probably be affiliate links, so you get a small percentage by doing that. You help support our site. Just watching our videos support us, so thank you. If you're into games, if you're into Games Workshop, Warhammer 40,000, tabletop games, role-playing games, card games, board games, check us out every single day at boardgametoday.com. We're also on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at Board Game Today. If you're into comics, graphicpolicy.com is where you want to go. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep rolling those dice, keep reading those comics, keep it geeky, and get your game on. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.